What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS, and in today's video, going over the AFC West. This is the Fantasy 2026 offseason. This is just a preview. We're not going into depth of who they're going to get, who they're going to draft, anything like that. We're just going into what they have currently and kind of what to look forward to based off of what you have. So, uh, I'm not going to say exactly who I think should join the team. I'm just going to throw some hypotheticals out there. But I'm not trying to say, hey, this is who they probably should get. But just, based off of who's there, some names that would make sense. But let's get into it with the Denver Broncos, who, man, they went to the conference finals against the Patriots, where they lost Bo Nix and they had Jarrett Stidham. And maybe we see a better Super Bowl performance out of the Broncos than we did the Patriots if they make it there, a Sean Payton Super Bowl game. But if you're a Broncos fan, I think you should be very excited for the future of this team because you just finally cleared off Russell Wilson's contract. You have a very, very young, especially offensively. Defensively, I mean, it's a really, really good mix. But offensively, you have a really good young-ish core. Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, Bo Nix, he's young-ish. RJ Harvey, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, really good young pieces there. And then you get some vets in Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram. I threw Jarrett Stidham in there because Jarrett Stidham does make more money than Bo Nix currently. So just kind of funny there. But yeah, the running back position, RJ Harvey is pretty much the guy there right now. Dobbins is a free agent. I think Deuce Vaughn is there as a backup, but I'm not including Deuce Vaughn. But the Broncos are, I wouldn't even say probably, they will bring in a running back. We just saw Javonte Williams actually re-sign with the Cowboys, so he's a name off the list already. But yes, I would expect the Broncos, in the way Sean Payton has his offense, to bring in another running back to complement RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey had some really good stints in Denver. We saw some games where it didn't look as good. But I think overall, RJ Harvey is going to be their guy going forward. At least for this next season. But they will bring in somebody to kind of complement him and kind of, make sure in case he does get hurt, they do have another running back in that running back room. Wide receiver, I don't really see them making a move at the wide receiver position. I think they're pretty satisfied with Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant. I think they have a good young four-piece where if you throw in Franklin, Mims, and Bryant, when you're running three wide receiver sets, those guys are going to rotate pretty nicely for what they each, have to do. So I think the wide receiver room is solid. Where I get different is the tight end room. I could easily see them bring in a young tight end behind Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's got a big contract. Even if you cut him, I think it was $10 million dead cap hit. So I could see them bring in a young tight end in the draft this season to kind of compete with Evan Ingram because it has not looked good for Evan Ingram in Denver. 9 draft picks in the draft, $27 million in cap space, only 1.2 in dead cap. So looking really, really good for Denver right now. Defensively, they had one of the best defenses in the league, a top 5 defense easily. Like I said, they're not going to bring in a quarterback. I can't really see them bring in a wide receiver. They will bring in a running back yet again, whether it be in the draft or in free agency. I would assume someone in free agency, though, knowing Sean Payton. And then I could easily see them drafting a tight end. I'm not saying a high draft capital tight end, but a tight end behind Evan Ingram, because it just, for the money you're paying Evan Ingram, it's not worth it at this point. So, yeah, if you're a Broncos fan, I think you're pretty satisfied going into this offseason. 9 draft picks, $27 million in cap. So you could easily bring in a couple pieces to help boost this roster that was in the conference finals. And I mean, they were there without Bo Nix. He got hurt the game before. So yeah, if you're a Broncos fan, you are happy. And let's move on to the next team, the Los Angeles Chargers. If you're a Chargers fan, you're also pretty satisfied looking at what's coming up. Quarterback, Justin Herbert, he's your guy. Have some backups, but it's Justin Herbert. So Amari and Hampton, right? No Najee. Najee's a free agent. The running back room is pretty just much Omari and Hampton. So yet again, this is a team that is going to bring in another running back, whether it be free agency, whether it be in the draft. And going to look at it, the free agents for the running back position, just to throw it out there for you guys. There's a lot of names you could bring in, right? You don't even have to bring in a big name free agent, but like a Kenneth Gainwell is there, a Brian Robinson is there, a Michael Carter, someone like a J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, like Miles Sanders, I guess. There are quite a few names in this list that you could bring into go behind someone like an Omari and Hampton. So wide receiver, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Trey Harris. Those are their guys right now. Yeah, I don't know. I could easily see them bring in somebody else to complement Ladd McConkey. Quentin Johnston, it's just he has his highs. His highs are really good, but then he has his lows, and his lows are really bad. Trey Harris was kind of left out just because Keenan Allen had a great year for the Chargers last season. Quentin Johnston, like he did step up. He did take a more elevated role, but we did see Ladd McConkey kind of regress, and that is just because the utilization of Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston taking a step up. They didn't have to depend on Ladd McConkey as much last season, but when they did, that man was amazing. Gadsden and Disley at the tight end position. Yet again, I see them going forward with Gadsden, Disley. Maybe they cut Disley and bring somebody else in, but I don't think they will. Gadsden's probably going to be their guy going forward. 5 draft picks, $87 million in cap space, only 1.5 in dead cap. If you're a Chargers fan, yes, they're going to bring in somebody in the running back position. They probably might bring in a vet in the wide receiver room, if I had to guess, because you still have a high draft capital pick in Quentin Johnston. And Trey Harris was a second round pick, I do believe. So you have some very young, cheap wide receivers in your wide receiver room. So I could see them bring in a vet to kind of help them out. But if you're a Chargers fan, what you're expecting with this $87 million in cap is the interior offensive line and defense. They lost a good amount of defensive talent so far right now. With $87 million in cap, it's very easy to kind of, I won't say replace, but kind of rebuild your interior offensive line and, rebuild your defense, retool it. So Chargers fans, yeah, I think it's a very positive year. Had a very competitive team, and any time you be ahead of the Chiefs is amazing now. So yeah, Chargers. If you're a Chargers fan, very happy going forward this offseason. Next, Kansas City Chiefs. This one is very difficult. Patrick Mahomes at the helm. Once he comes back healthy. Running back room. Rashard Smith. He is their guy right now. He is their guy. Kareem Hunt gone. Pacheco gone. Obviously, this is a situation where they're going to bring in a running back, probably through free agency. The negative $6 million in cap space kind of, would worry some, but they could easily clear up some cap space to bring somebody in. But yes, I could see them easily bringing in a top free agent in this class. Maybe draft somebody later in the draft. They've been notorious for doing that recently, is drafting a later round running back. Or an undrafted running back. Wide receiver, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. That's pretty much it at the wide receiver room right now. Obviously, there's rooms of someone like a Tyreek Hill kind of coming back on a cheap deal to make another run for a Super Bowl. But we'll see what that looks like. They have some younger backups as well that really haven't done anything. But Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, those are your two guys as of right now. Travis Kelce is a free agent as of this minute, so Noah Gray's your guy, and you are paying Noah Gray a decent sized contract. So 6 draft picks in the upcoming draft. Like I said, negative $6 million in cap and only $2 million in dead cap. So it's not the worst situation for the Chiefs. They will be able to clear up some cap space, bring some guys in, especially in the running back room. If Travis Kelce's playing football, he's playing for the Chiefs. I can't see him going anywhere else. He would come back to the Chiefs and be their tight end 1 again. And then, yes, it is very realistic that Tyreek Hill comes back to the Chiefs. It all depends if he's still money hungry or not, right? If he wants a good sized contract, he might leave the Chiefs because the Chiefs cannot pay Tyreek Hill the money that he should be paid. He would have to take a discount to come back to the Chiefs. So we'll see what that situation looks like. But they, yes, would then bring in somebody else in their wide receiver room. I don't think they're going to roll out with like a Jalen Royal as a third wide receiver. So yeah, the Chiefs are definitely going to make a lot of fantasy offseason moves that will change the way this looks right now. So if you're a Chiefs fan, if you're a Chiefs, fantasy owner and like someone like a Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, I'm very interested to see what this depth chart looks like come week 1, because right now this is not a competitive offense in this division, right? This division is only getting better. So yes, the Chiefs are definitely going to bring in some names. Last but not least, Las Vegas Raiders. It's a total turnaround for the Raiders' new offensive-minded head coach. A lot of cap space, number 1 pick, 10 draft picks in total. But let's go over Geno Smith and Aiden O'Connell are your quarterbacks as of right now. Obviously, with the first overall, Mendoza seems like your guy. I'm going to throw this out here, Raiders fans. You can have your disagreements with me, but I'm not the biggest on Mendoza. I truly did not see enough to make me believe that he is the first overall pick type of quarterback. I think teams are just desperate for quarterbacks, and seeing that the Raiders and Jets have premium picks and need franchise quarterbacks, Mendoza kind of falls into that. So for your sake, I hope he works out, but I just don't see him being a first overall talent type of quarterback. Even that, you're paying Geno Smith a lot of money right now. Ashton Jeanty in your running back room, yet again, they will bring in somebody for Ashton Jeanty. He had a really solid rookie season, but they are going to bring in somebody to help him out. They're not going to give him, 100% of the snaps. That is just unrealistic. You don't want to kill a very young, talented running back, so they will bring in somebody to complement Ashton Jeanty. Wide receiver room is very, very young. They are definitely bringing in somebody in their wide receiver room. But Trey Tucker, who I like Trey Tucker. I think Trey Tucker is a good wide receiver 2 if you could find a true wide receiver 1. I think Trey Tucker is going to be a good complementary piece to that wide receiver 1. And then Jack Beck, Deontay Thornton. These guys are going to compete for your wide receiver 3 position. Neither guy really showed much in their rookie season, so you're really hoping they make a splash in free agency and in the draft to help out Mendoza, to help out Trey Tucker. Obviously, you have a premium tight end. You have a Brock Bowers, and you have Michael Mayer, who, if you go back and look, when Bowers and Mayer were together, they had some solid combination tight end stats. Michael Mayer was definitely a name to be considered on the trade block for a team to take a shot on a very talented tight end that just wasn't in the best situation. And then the Raiders drafted Brock Bowers. So 10 picks in this upcoming draft, $87 million in cap space, $35 million in dead cap. That is Wilkins' contract. There are, the whole Max Crosby. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to be a Raider? Is he not? So that situation's one to watch for. But if you're a Raiders fan, you're getting Mendoza. That is your first overall pick, unless a team makes like a Bryce Young type of trade package for the Raiders. Mendoza is going to be your guy. You have Ashton Jeanty. You have Brock Bowers. Those are your staple pieces. You are really hoping they can make a splash in the wide receiver free agency this offseason and bring in someone for Trey to help Trey Tucker, right? I really like Trey Tucker. I really do. And then, 10 picks. So next season only gets better. If you could get rid of Geno Smith's contract, it only gets continuously better for a Raiders fan going forward. The situation, though, that you have to understand if you are a Raiders fan is this division is tough, right? You consider the head coaches in this division is very tough. You consider the quarterbacks that are in this division. It is very tough. You will play these teams 6 times a season every year. It is going to be very hard for the Raiders to compete in this division. You bring in Mendoza, you could bring in a lot of talent here. I don't think this season is the season to really buy into the Raiders. I think next season is a more realistic chance for the Raiders. I think you want to find out who your core pieces are with this new coaching staff and go forward and look at next season as the season to truly compete. Obviously, they're going to try to compete, right? It's not saying they're going to just roll over and die, right? They have pieces. It's just a very, very tough division to kind of overcome, and a conference at that is very tough, right? You consider just this division alone, right? You have a dynasty team in the Kansas City Chiefs who just missed the playoffs, but they've been a playoff team every year. And then you look at two playoff teams in the Chargers and Broncos. You go and look at the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, like the AFC South. That division's always a tough one to kind of judge. The AFC North, right? With the Ravens, the Bengals, like it's a very tough conference to try to make it into the playoffs. And when you play the Chiefs, the Chargers, and Broncos 6 times, it is even harder. So if you're a Vegas fan, like I said, there are some definite positives to look forward to this offseason going into the season, but I would not have high expectations for this roster yet. Like I said, they are going to have a lot of cap this season. They're going to have a lot of cap next season. Just be patient if you're a Raiders fan. Hope you made the right decision as a head coach. Hope they attack free agency in the right way and not just say, we have the money, let's go just try to buy talent. Buy the right guys that are going to help your team for next season as well. So yet again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll go over the rest of the AFC this week. So if you guys are interested in any other division, check that out. And we'll see you guys in the next one.